Hey everybody, and welcome to Vancouver Island Bushcraft. It is 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm heading out to the bivouac. It turns out it's going to be a nice day. It rained yesterday, but it's going to be really nice today, so looking forward to that. Here's some of the gear I'm taking. I'm just taking the SKS, the web gear, and I'll be taking the vest as well. And when I get to the bivouac, I'll show you what I'm using in the vest. I got it set up so it's a standalone bug-out vest, so to speak. So I'll show you what's in there. I'm just speaking quietly because everybody's sleeping in the house there. So yeah, so I'm just getting ready right now. And, I'll be in the truck in a little bit. So on the road, it's getting lighter. It's getting light out. The trees are turning. You can definitely tell it's fall. I'm gonna follow this guy for a bit. It's a pretty bumpy road. It has lots of snow on it in the wintertime because we're getting higher up on the mountain. Okay guys, I'm pretty much ready to go. This is how I'm decked out with the vest. A little tight with the civilian camouflage jacket. If I had worn the military one, it would have been perfect. So we're going to head out, and we're going to start our trek down to the bivouac. She's nice out today. Sporting these new gloves, I'll show you. They have a sleeve, a olive drab sleeve that goes over, and they're leather, they're one piece. And it's gonna be really good for the winter time. I'm trying them out today. I'm trying out the vest today for comfort, and seeing what works and what doesn't. That's all it's all about. You practice, right? It's all about practice. You come out, wear certain things, figure out if they fit or not, and then kind of go from there and change things out, so that when you need to do something for real, or you need to bug out, it's not a surprise that something doesn't fit with something, or there's some kind of issue, right? So I'm going to keep going down the trail, and look at this beautiful morning, and I can't wait to get to the bivouac. Alright, I'm going to show you guys how to hang a bag or a vest or whatever. Saw this on a YouTube channel. Can't remember which one it was. So I just did an overhand knot, nothing special. And then down here, just going to make a little loop and then put this branch in the loop, sort of in the middle, like so. We'll just leave that there. All right, let's go get the vest. Yeah, I want to show you guys what I have in here. I didn't change anything. Normally when I go to the woods, I'll bring specifically what I need, but I didn't change anything because I wanted to show you guys exactly what is in here. All right, and that's how you, of course, can see how that would work with a pack as well, right? So yeah, just an overhead knot here, and then I don't know what this knot is called. I saw this on a YouTube channel, like I was saying. I can't remember what the YouTube channel was, but really a good idea. I'm going to spin this around. Okay, what do I have in here? Knife with a ferro rod, and you guys have seen this knife. It's got the jute twine and that kind of stuff. Isopropyl alcohol. This is not rubbing alcohol, it's the isopropyl alcohol. Nothing in there. Just because there's a pocket doesn't mean you got to fill it. Some wet wipes. Flashlight and band-aids. The knife holder is actually for an FN-C1A1 bayonet, which I happen to have had. So that's what fits there, which is kind of cool. Numerous water pouches, emergency drinking water. I used to get these in the battle box things, and I just kept them, never used them. So I have a bunch of these in here. All right, let's turn it around. So the back one, there is my coffee filter, chicken noodle soup, some sugar, some Bovril, some onion soup, and some coffee. Just straighten me out a little bit. Sorry, I just got this actually propped up on my chest here, so that's why it's all over the place. Okay, this other back one here, I have toilet paper and some jute twine. Got to remember pocket discipline, guys. You forget to do this up, you move the vest, you lose stuff. It could mean life or death. All right. In here I have an entire fire kit. You know what that has there. You know, you can see it pretty good. It's got all the fire starting stuff in there. And on the big pouch, this is where the vest shines, eh guys? You got jute twine, a hood neck warmer, a grail, straighten me out, sorry, a glove for the heat, or for the fire, and in this pouch I have the North Sidekicks Tomato Alfredo and Uncle Ben's Oriental Style rice. Straighten me out. And this here you get at the dollar store, which is kind of cool. This is an emergency camping shelter. 8 feet long. It actually makes an entire tent in this little tiny package, and it comes with the rope and everything, which is kind of cool. So you can carry an entire emergency shelter with you that weighs nothing. And yeah, they're $2.50 at the dollar store. You can get them at the summertime only, of course. So that's what I'm carrying in this vest. So if I was to leave home with the vest, I have shelter, I have fire, I have food, and because I have the grail, I have water, and of course I have water purification tablets as well. So that's what's in that vest. I wore it in here over top of the jacket, and it was like I was wearing nothing extra. In the summertime, you could wear the vest with a t-shirt and the webbing, the web gear, and you could just, you know, live out in the woods, do what you need to do. I'll show you the stuff that I brought. I know I showed you at the office, but this is unpacked here. I'm having mashed potatoes and lamb for lunch. I brought my coffee filter and coffee. There's a specialty coffee that I got in that battle box thing. It's called Erie Coffee Roasters. I thought I'd give it a shot. I totally forgot the cream, so I'm going to be drinking my my coffee without cream, which kind of sucks, but that's okay. I got an Esbit stove, but not for the stove. I brought it for the cup for the filter, because I thought this is a little bit bigger and the filter would fit on this just a little bit better than those little cups. Got the silky saw, axe, typical stuff on the web gear, knife, bear spray. I got a couple of pots. One, the big one, of course, is for the mashed potatoes. I got the grail so I can have some water. The stream actually has water in it now. In here, I got a bunch of ammo. The SKS is loaded, ready to go. And yeah, these gloves, very cool gloves. Got these at Coombs surplus store. They're very comfortable, and they're going to be great for the winter time. That's pretty much where we're at now. I came in to the the bivouac. You saw me walking in, and then it was so dark. I thought I would just not do any filming until it got a little bit lighter. So what I decided to do was go find a dead standing tree, and there it is there. And I've processed it down to about 4 or 5 foot logs, and I'm going to process that down again into normal logs, and that's what I'm going to use for firewood today. So I need to cut all that down. You guys don't need to you see me cut wood again. You've seen it, how I do it. I use this thing here and the silky saw. You guys don't need to see that. But what I'll do is I'm going to process this wood, and then I'll show you quartering it with the saw or with the axe, and getting it down to a usable size. So it's been raining incredibly hard for the last week or so, and there's a couple of things about the shelter that need to be corrected. Let me show you. So first of all the firewood here, it's wet. So the rain is coming in on an angle, so I need to put a wall right here, because you know, that's usable once the fire is hot, but right now it would be a little more difficult to get a fire going, obviously, with that. The bench here is also wet up to half, so the water's coming into here. So I need to put something over here to just seal it up a little bit. We're talking torrential rains, by the way. That's why it's like that. It's not, this is not normal, but you know, we'll correct it. I'm thinking of building another bivouac with a buddy of mine, and we're going to learn from any mistakes I made here, and we're going to build another one. Another thing I did was up here, I decided to wrap this around. And so this here, as you follow it down, is on the edge, and you can see it drip there and there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unfold it and bring it out to here, and that'll solve that problem right there. So a little bit of correction. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the corrections. If I'm going to do another bivouac, there's not much point in spending a lot more time on this one. You know, torrential rains is one of the things in British Columbia, and my easy fix would be to get 2 small tarps and put one on one side and then one on the other. Easy fix. That way I'm not chopping more wood. I actually had to walk about 2 or 3 minutes out of camp to get a good size dead standing, because I've been here now for, I guess close to a year. No, not quite. No, half a year. Yeah, about half a year. But I'm using wood constantly in this area, so I'm using up the dead standing, and I don't want to cut any live trees. So once I start having to go out, you know, and get wood any more than, say, 5 minutes, it's time to move. You know, you're using up your resources, and it becomes more laborious to stay out in the woods. So yeah, we've been thinking about doing another bivouac. I talked to my buddy yesterday, and he's totally for it. So we're going to go that route. I'm going to process this wood and get a fire going, I think. Well, I've processed the wood. It took about, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. It's a fair amount of wood. It's about 30 feet high, the tree. And I guess the thickest diameter, or circumference is, diameter, sorry, is about 4 inches, maybe 5 inches, I guess. So, yeah, now I'm going to do some processing. I already processed a couple of pieces. I'll just, I'll put you down. And I'm just doing it on the dirt. I know there's no rock there. Oops, sorry guys. There you go. Sorry about that. I know there's no rock here, so when the axe hits the dirt, it's not a big deal. I'm going to split them in half, and then I'll baton them after that. This one's got a fair amount of moss on it. Well, it's starting to rain. So think of it this way. It's raining and we need to get a fire going, okay? So the process I've done this morning, finding a tree dead standing, a fairly large one, And don't forget, it's been raining here for a week, and we're talking torrential rains. Like just, you're outside for 2 seconds, you're soaked, that kind of rain. So if you take a look, this wood is all dry. So the process would be, you're stuck in the woods, you cut down one of these trees, and you put yourself up a temporary shelter, and under the shelter, you get the middle of the wood. Now, so this is cut in quarters, and this is the wood you want here, all this middle stuff. So you baton it, get the dry wood, and start your fire. That's the process on how to do that. Being able to start a fire with wood that's basically all wet in the forest. All this stuff inside is all dry wood. It's the best way to go. Oh, sorry guys, I hit you in the head there. Okay, so these are the core pieces here. This is really, really dry. And you basically make yourself a feather stick, and you've got yourself a nice roaring fire in no time. So that's the procedure. Find a dead standing, cut her down, and it's always handy to have a saw. Like the big saw that I have, I mean, that's a big saw. That's one that you're, carrying into a camp. But Silky and all these other guys make small saws as well. And it's a lifesaver to be able to cut down a tree this size and process it. All you need is a saw and a good knife, and you've got yourself the ability to stay warm in torrential rain. And you don't need a big poncho or anything like that to go under either. That silver shelter that I have, it's $2. And if you set it up not as a tent but as a poncho or as a cover, you can survive easily. Yeah, this is how you get the dry wood. I'm going to process the rest of this and then get the fire going. I'm not going to have coffee. I just can't drink dark coffee. I've been trying to wrap my head around trying to do it, but I'm just not going to do it. So I'm going to have beef bovril instead. I brought some of that in my vest. I'm wearing the vest right now. I want to see what it's like wearing the vest, just doing sort of day-to-day chores around the bivouac, and see if it's comfortable enough that you could just wear. And so far it is. I don't even notice it on me. And I've got everything in this vest. I've got everything I need in a survival situation. So it's actually kind of neat. So I'm going to finish the rest of this wood up here. The air is really damp. We're gonna get it going though. I'm gonna keep this live so you see what it's like to do it when it's really wet. There we go. So this is basically from a dead standing tree, torrential rains, cut down, batoned into small pieces, and then shaved. I could have shaved them smaller. I kind of was doing it quickly. Now we're just building it up. I didn't want to cut off the film and just show you the fire going. I wanted to show you that with the temperature or the humidity in the air the way it is, it's a little more difficult to get stuff going in this kind of climate. But by more difficult, I mean a few minutes more. Really, it's not that difficult. Like I said, I could have made these feather sticks way smaller, and if I had done that, it would have taken probably a little less ferro rod effort. My knife out of the fire pit. Okay, I am confident that this is going to go, so I will let you go once it's a little bit higher. Notice I put the 4 sticks down so that the fire wasn't on the wet coals. Okay, I'm going to leave you guys. When it gets a little bigger, I'll turn you back on. I was going to have it in this, but I think I'll have it in this, and I'll use all the water, I think. Or lots of it anyway. That should make a nice drink. In the military, they call this a KFS set. knife, fork, and spoon. But it's funny because I got a spoon, a fork, and chopsticks. So it'd be a KFC set, you know, Kentucky Fried KFC set. So I use a KFC set instead of a KFS set. Haven't used the chopsticks yet. I should probably bring some noodles down and on purpose to to use the chopsticks, because that would just be fun. All right. Beef waffle. Oh, that is so refreshing. Yeah, I think it's better than black coffee, I think. This is nice. Put my toque on, it's getting a little cool. Fire is nice and warm though, so I'll probably take it off in a little bit. But it's always good to bring extra stuff with you. I got extra clothing, so if you get cold, you can just put it on. It's easy enough to just take it off, but why suffer, right? The fire that I did worked out really well. A couple things I would augment if I was doing it in a survival situation. First of all, I would baton the pieces of wood, probably about a quarter of the size or less. I started off with some pretty big pieces, other than the shavings. So it took a little bit to get going. It went going. When I turned you off, I didn't have to do anything to it. It just grew. But it would have grown a lot faster if I had taken a little more time to baton and get them around pencil size and get around 30 or 40 of them. That would have got it going really quickly. Secondly, make a feather stick with really, really fine feathers. I was going at the fire with the ferro rod, and I probably did it 20 times before it caught. And in a survival situation, you don't want that to happen. You want to be able to, you know, hit it 2 or 3 times. And like the prime situation, like when I've shown you in other videos how to do feather sticks, and it goes right away. It's because I took the time to make the feather stick properly. So just keep that in mind. Just take the time. Don't be lazy. I was being lazy. I was using large pieces of wood. You know, I was just confident it was going to start, and it did. But you know, if you're cold and you're shivering, you don't take those chances. Just make sure it's really small, and the pieces of wood, and you'll be able to strike it with a ferro rod way easier. So yeah, a couple of things that I could have done a little differently. That's good. The filter's getting clogged. I've used it enough. You can tell when you push it in, and it takes pretty much all your strength to bring it down. It means that it's time to change the filter. What's nice about this system is, as long as you can push it through, the water is clear. So it gets to the point where you can't push it through. So there's no sort of time period where the filter is no good, but you can still use the filter and get bad water. This gets to a situation where you just cannot push it down anymore. And it's at that point right now. I took everything I had, so this will be the last time I use this filter. That's a great little addition, or little thing that Grail did. You don't have to worry about going past the filter time and getting bad water. We got a great fire going, and I've taken the pieces of wood and put them around the fire to dry them up. because don't forget the inside is dry, but the first 1/4 inch or whatever all around is wet. So I just stacked it all up to dry it as I put it through. I did another batch of wood. So I've gone through, let me see here, probably 1/4 of the tree, and it's been about I'd say 2 hours, somewhere around there. So I got about 2, 4, 6, I got 8 hours of wood for that tree. So I would need another tree. If I was staying overnight, I'd need to take down another tree, another 30-foot tree of that size, if I want this kind of fire throughout the entire night. So it's a great way to gauge it. Well, I think it's time to have some lunch. So here we are. There's the lamb, and put a little pepper on there. Spin this around. A little bit of salt. I think that's good. All right, we're almost done. These ones are done here. These ones need a little more cooking. So basically what I'm doing is I got the grill and I got the meat over the fire, and then of course you got extreme flame, coals, and then cool. You can actually touch this part of the grill. So you got total control over the cooking of the meat. This stays warm because this is done. This stays warm while the other stuff is getting done. And just turn this. I think those are done. I think we're going to call it done, guys. I'm going to get that off of there, and then we'll start the potatoes. How's that for instant mashed potato? This is 4 cheese mashed potatoes. Well, guys, that's my lunch. All right. Okay, the mashed potatoes are really good. Oh, lamb's done perfectly. It's got that guys, had my lunch and fixed up the
The tarp, by the way, I made sure it's a little bit longer. And just waiting for the fire to go down. It'll be another probably half an hour or so. It's doing good. And oh, I took the bench out. It was getting in the way. Had to step over it and stuff, and so I'm going to use this as firewood next time. This piece right here, I'm going to use that as firewood next time. And yeah, I don't like it there. I tried it for a couple times here and I don't like it. So all the wood that I didn't use, it's underneath my bench here. It's all under here because the wood pile is getting damp, getting wet. So I need to do something about that. But I didn't feel like doing that today, so I just put all the wood. I know it's perfectly dry. Put it in the center where it doesn't get any wetter. So yeah, so I'm just waiting for the fire to go down, and yeah, that's about it. Well, guys, I think we're going to call it. I'm going to put the rest of this fire out with some water and get packed up and get going. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was really fun to be here, do a couple of cool things. If you really enjoyed it, subscribe. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much. And don't forget to share and like and tell all your friends about the channel. We're up to 260 subscribers now, so that's pretty exciting. See you later, guys.